Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, September 18th. I'd sent the wrong link out a few minutes ago. So if you're late to this, well, you can always rewind. Okay. But anyway, sorry about that. Well, let's do the look at the macro first. Actually, let me just quickly say there is news on air. It's the topic of the day with some caveats. Be careful. We'll get to it in just a second. All right. But first, I want to look at the macro situation, SPY, QQQ, everything down. But the thing that I'm really focusing on that's alarming is Soxel. All right, Soxel down. It was down sharply Friday. This is triggered by the TSM warning. It's been taking the whole semiconductor sector down, including leaders like Nvidia and SMCI. You can't really do technical analysis. It looks like you can. It looks pretty, right? Yeah, on a levered ETF, you're not really supposed to do technical analysis. So let's do that on Nvidia and SMCI. So Nvidia over here down sharply this morning, 2%. Where are candle supports? It's going to be this candle from August 18th. That's the next one, 416.60. That's the next support I see on Nvidia, 416.60. And SMCI, by the way, there's fundamental reasons for this, like the TSM, China slowdown, things like that. So TSM, also, if we go to that SMCI, 235, another 3% lower from here. I just don't see any. It could always bounce. It could have a lot of volatility, SMCI and NVIDIA, but that's the next major support I see. And this is happening in a dangerous kind of week. We have FOMC decision Wednesday. Everyone basically expects a pause. Man, if they raise, look out below. And then we also have traditionally, this is the one of the weakest weeks of the year. There's a saying, sell Rosh Hashanah, buy Yom Kippur. So actually, we put that to work a little bit on Friday. We did some selling and shorting on Friday, and we're going to take it easy this week and maybe get a little more aggressive towards the end of the week before Yom Kippur on Monday. So in any case, SPY, QQQ, everything not really looking great. By the way, how's TLT doing? The lower TLT goes, the worse that is for financial sector. That means rates higher. TLT's been down sharply the last several days. So let's see how KRE is doing in XLF. So a banking sector, it's down, but it's within a chop range. Nothing alarming this morning in XLF. XLF looks a little more tedious there than not tedious, a little more on the precipice here than, I don't want to say that, but a little more 50 DMA. You see that 30. Well, it's there right now, isn't it? Oh, okay. Yeah. It's there right now. It's at support. So nothing really crazy this morning. No warning signs, I think, on XLF and KRE for the day. All right. I'm just monitoring high yield bonds. That could be a sign. I just want to watch that, right? If you have like a 2008 type thing, that'll be one of the early signs. Okay. In any case, the major thing I'm really looking at is that Soxel. Let me just see QQQ and SPY real quick where we're at. Oh, below key moving averages again. And we were already bearish though, right? Because we talked about last week the equal weight SPY, equal weight NASDAQ were already below key moving averages. Okay. So Soxel, that's my, thing to watch for. Soxel, FOMC Wednesday, and just that we're in a very bad week seasonally. Let's go to our list. So with that said, we're talking about air, but air can be really impacted by Soxel. And, in fact, this morning, it was kind of down. It didn't react, quickly. And you see this is the black line, the break-even line. Even after the news came out, it was down. And I think that's because of the algos and the pressure that Soxel's putting on air. That might continue today. Let's look at the news here. I don't think it's gigantico news. It's a new customer. That's a new customer that's still, they're getting their first system in, the Fox MP, with an expectation that it's going to ramp to volume production in the near future, but it's not volume production yet. But new customers always that's much better than an existing customer buying a new system. So, this is good news. If markets were stable, if Soxel weren't crashing, I'd be much heavier into this. I did get a small position at 47.50 this morning. You can see it's 47.50 by 47.80. Let's look at the technicals real quick. It's within this chop zone. So, I would just be kind of today, buy the dips, play the chop. Let's say this is going to be in a range from like where there's always a worst case, worse than what you think, right? But if we're going to be optimists here and say, okay, that news is going to allow us to hold last week's lows, right? Kind of similar to Mobileye that we talked about last week, which worked out. So let's say we're in a chop zone from 46.50 to 48.50. If we get that intraday volatility, I think you can have good conviction buying the dips here, especially if you have some sort of hedge. against this, like maybe short Soxel, short Nvidia, something like that, against long Air, that could give you more confidence playing Air to the upside. Is there a chance it breaks out of this volatility zone like 49.50 and make a move towards 50? I suppose there's a chance. That's why we have a long-term position as well in Air. But anyway, I think we're going to be playing the chop on this more than anything, rather than making a big directional bet just because of the condition of the markets, Soxel, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur week. And that is going to be the top pick. All right. So we got lots of other catalysts. Let's go through them and maybe we can come up with other top picks. I'm not sure we can. We'll see. Lots of catalysts here. Okay. BCRX, 2 catalysts this morning. They got a recommendation. INSS, I don't know what INSS is, recommends public reimbursement for BioCrest or Ladeo. And then also at the same time here, RBC Capital raises price target from 9 to 10. Not a huge price target increase. You can see it's up 3.65%. It's trying to hold this support, which is the high of the week last week, around 710. I don't think I'm going to play this here in pre-market, but we'll be watching it. All right. And then Zim, I did play a little bit. Maybe that'll be in the top 5. All right, Zim is a shipping company that's very sensitive to economic cycles and recession and things like that. You can see how it exploded last cycle from like 11 to 81 and now back to 11. But then it got an upgrade this morning. So I know the macroeconomic situation not superb, but I kind of like that it's been down forever. And now you get an upgrade from JP Morgan. JP Morgan upgrading to overweight. I like this upgrade. $15.40 price target. I'm feeling good about an entry here. And maybe an entry that can end up being a swing or a long term if it doesn't work out today, because this is a long time maybe going straight down. And there's also a nice short position in this, 19%. Both Zim and Air have good short positions. So, okay, in any case, let's look at the potential targets for today. The 20 DMA, that's a low-hanging fruit, 1185. All right, so if I'm going to get in here at 1140, I'll definitely sell at least half at 1185. And who knows? That might be about it. Maybe if it breaks this 20 DMA, I'll hold a little bit for 13. But for right now, that's what I'm looking at. I think Zim might make it into the top 5 because of everything I just explained. Lulu gets an upgrade after strong earnings the other week. Good earnings, then pull back to the 20 DMA. Now an upgrade by HSBC. $500 price target. I'm not sure where they were before. Lulu could do well, but again, that market weighing. I didn't play this yet, but I could see it doing well, maybe with options. All right, so Lulu, maybe. We'll see if that makes the top 5. Joby, this is the ACHR competitor, the larger cap version of ACHR. But man, the news flow in ACHR has been so incredible. Joby has really pulled back. I think a lot of that money from Joby has gone into ACHR. Joby has a market cap of, $4.5 billion. What's ACHR right now? And we'll get into the news on Joby in just a second. ACHR close to $2 billion. Man, did they play a lot of catch up. So Joby this morning saying that they are going to build a manufacturing facility. They've chosen Dayton, Ohio for a manufacturing facility to build 500 aircraft a year, 2,000 new jobs, investing $500 million in that plant. So Joby getting a bid this morning. I didn't jump on it. Maybe I should have. I didn't jump on it because I'm like, how much is it going to cost them to build that plant? Like, I like buying financing. I like that. Okay, we raised $500 million to build this plant, but like, okay, here's a capital expenditure. Okay, how are they going to pay for it? So in any case, I didn't jump on it, but I'll be watching this. Maybe if it pulls back towards pre-market supports, maybe worth a trade in there on Joby. LAP, a little bit of news again this morning, just commenting on 10 satellites that they built are now in orbit. Okay, I don't think that's meaningful news for today. By the way, I'm hearing through the grapevine that Rivada definitely does not have their financing in place yet. So we're kind of avoiding LAP for the moment. GNSS had a warning, and we sold a little bit of our shares here this morning. We had a long-term position, but we sold 1/3 of our long-term position at 296. There was a bid there this morning. They basically saying their pipeline is exploding, but for the current quarter, the orders are getting pushed out. So they're going to be missing their revenue expectations for the current quarter by a nice amount, it looks like. I think, this is how I look at this and say, let me see if I can buy the dip today. And that might be good. Okay. but I took the chance to reduce, and at 296 bid, we're still in it. If there was a bigger bid, maybe I would have sold more. But GNSS out with a warning. It's sitting at critical support, so I was just a little bit worried we're going to be breaking these support levels, and then it could take some time until it breaks back above it. That was my worry there. That's why I reduced at 285 to 295. I don't think I would do anything further. But if it drops significantly today, maybe 275, something like that, you see all this support down here. Maybe that's a good entry for the long term on GNSS. Assure, just to follow up, I did pick some up Friday because we were trying to figure out all day Friday. Why is Assure crashing all day long? We finally got the reason late in the afternoon. I think Benzinga has it, or Dow Jones. Assure software slips 15% after IRS pauses processing of pandemic era tax credit. Okay, but then Assure responded to that and said Assure supports the IRS efforts to like root out fraud, I guess it was, and the pausing of ERC requests wouldn't significantly affect its business. The company said it does not plan to update its guidance for the fiscal year, given the IRS's position. Update. So that's basically saying we don't anticipate us to, miss our previous guidance. So they're coming out. They made a statement that, hey, this is not such a material big deal to our company. So I thought that was a good buying opportunity on Friday. I forgot what our entry was exactly, probably around 9:45 or something like that. So let's see if we can get a bounce back in Assure today. Okay, where would we bounce back to? Let's see. Let's see where a good. Well, there's $10. I think there's some resist. Definitely at 10. Okay, maybe that's a place to sell some if you got some cheapies at 9:40, 9:30. So $10 is going to be the price target on Assure for today, 9.95, whatnot, somewhere around there. DocGo also, is there a buying opportunity here? This has been sliding forever. I guess they lost some deals, and then the CEO resigned. And so DocGo, man, is it going to find a bottom? I don't know where it's going to find a bottom. Oh man, it looks kind of ugly, but it looks like it's almost at like all-time lows. What is the all-time low on this? 560. The all-time low on this is 496. Okay, I'm not going to make this a top pick. I think the short bounce is better than the DocGo bounce, but we got a CEO resigning is the reason, but it said for personal reasons. I think that's why I took a little position Friday, and the reason I took it was because it said it was resigning for personal reasons. I'm not sure if that's something that should cause the stock to go from 6 to 560. But not any case, not going to be a top pick. Okay. Just following up on Vaxil with just volatility after that news Friday. You know what? Not going to be a top pick either. All right. TGB, Yatra. Yatra's oversubscribed. We got more data. Okay. More data on Yatra. Remember, today we got an update. Now it's over 100% subscribed, the retail allocation. Wednesday, we're going to get the final subscription numbers. $3 IPO here to start trading next Friday. Okay, so I think those numbers look good that were reported this morning. So continuing to look for an upward bias and this to slowly move towards $3. And just want to point out, Talk has been very, very strong. Wow, look at that close on Friday. Very strong. I like this for the long term. I like the fundamentals. I have a $2, $3, $4 price target on this stock first half of this year. Look at this price. This chart pattern looks really bullish. Looks like it wants to explode above 181. Had that recent AI catalyst lately. Man, Talk is looking good. All right, so what I'm going to do is make some changes here and move Yatra and Talk higher up after I went through everything. So let's see. Let's move Yatra, and we're going to move Talk up there. And, I forgot to talk about TGB. Let's move it up there and talk about TGB for a second. You know what? I forgot to talk about a few things. Hold on. We're not done, are we? We are not done. There's a lot of news this morning. Okay, Carvana got an upgrade this morning. I'm not playing it, just letting you know. That was pretty impressive that Carvana was able to get an upgrade out of Wedbush this morning after the big rise it's had. And then we have Geo has been very strong. I'm going to move Geo up. This immigration issue, it's all over the news. We have multiple catalysts recently. We have Citron upgrading it. We have the White House talking about ankle bracelet monitoring. We have images of people pouring into the country all over the place this last weekend for some reason. Not sure who decides those narratives and the timings of them, but Geo, let's move that up closer to the top as well. And let me just go back and see. There was something else down here I wanted to cover. Genie has done well. Man, I wish I had more conviction to just buy and hold. We were just trying to day trade that. Didn't really make much on Genie on Thursday, but that ended up being a good buy. We talked about the catalyst there, and I guess $6 your swing target on Genie. So Genie looking good. Of breaking, bouncing off the 20 DMA, moving to the 50 DMA. Good for you. I forgot who that was in the chat room who said they took advantage of that, sold right at our target, $38. So congrats on that. And then, all right, that's it. Uranium, you see, with a little bit of a bid. But all right, let's move things around over here. So we're going to make Yatra number one. No, I'm sorry, Air number one. All right, I'm not going to put BCRX in the top over there. Zim and Lulu and Joby, maybe. All right, Yatra talk. Let's see how this looks now. So Yatra number one. No, I'm sorry, I said that twice, didn't I? Maybe that's a Freudian slip. Air number one, Yatra. Okay, talk, Geo, Zim. I like these. I'm not sure about the order though. After Air. Now I'm merging Yatra and Air. What is going on? All right. So Air, Talk, Geo, Zim. Let's just leave it at that. You know what? Yeah. I was gonna say move Talk down because no Catalyst today. But I like this. I like this list. We got Catalyst and Zim and Lulu. I'm putting them lower. I like what's going on with Talk and Geo. All right, let's make it. All right, we got like 6, 7 stocks here, all the way down to Joby. Actually, this whole thing, all the way down to TGB, looks interesting to me here. Air, all the way to TGB. All right, we're in TGB. By the way, let's just look at that. TGB holding strong after that inflection point news. And look at how it's interacting with the 200 DMA here, closing above the 200 DMA. So I really like TGB. We picked up more on Friday as a swing / long-term position. And remember, they said their mine alone, their new mine is worth like $3 a share. So, okay, so I really like that TGB, maybe more for a swing or long term. Don't know what it's going to do today. And you know what? I think I'm just going to look for opportunities, right? Rather than calling it right now, I have the Air, all right? But everything else here, Yatra, Talk, Geo, Zim, Lulu, Joby, TGB. I think I'm going to be monitoring all of these here and looking for possibilities of buying dips on these, buying dips, selling rips of that nature, considering maybe adding which one do you want for the long term? I have Talk in my long-term IRA, by the way. Geo, maybe it's something to consider for a long term. All right. TGB, maybe something to consider for long term. So these are all, I think, good quality stocks with good recent catalysts that all have a place in terms of today, right? Have a place in terms of trading them or evaluating them for a swing, researching them, doing some due diligence, maybe for a long term. All right. These are all interesting plays here. All right. So leave it at that. And we will see you today at 1 p.m. for a free update. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.